Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway. I am Pete Ruzick, best known as Repeat 1975, whatever you want to call me. Byron Jones in the booth. Byron, it's Bristol, baby. Here we are, Bristol, Tennessee. We're going to have between 15 and 20 guys out here on track for the IROC Challenge Series and these bad Xfinity cars. Man, it is round 2, race 2, live from Bristol. Anything can happen, including that dreaded bump and run if you're the guy out front when it's all said and done. You see all these guys out here on track. Byron, this is our 3rd or 4th race together with these guys. Who you got and how you feeling about this place, bud?
Oh man, I love Bristol. Every time these guys come here, whether it's me on track or watching the race, it always produces the best racing I've ever seen. It's Bristol, baby. You said it best. This half-mile track, this short track, the lap times everyone puts down, it is going to be fantastic to watch. After last week, we had a fantastic finish at Talladega with the 83 of Brandon Medford picking up the win. I don't know, Pete. Man, I think we're going to have to go back on back. I think I'm going to go back with that 83. He's been going really hot lately, especially into the second round. It's kind of hard to shy away from the man.
Yeah, this is really where you have to, lay it all down. And talk about laying it down, these guys a little bit different of a qualifying mode tonight. As you can see, the scoring pylon is up. They've got just about 2 to 2.5 minutes left of qualifying. So far, the 70 of Aaron Smith up he's on top of the charts, but everybody out there at once. It's not one car at a time. Figure why not mix things up a little bit. They've only got 2 races left in the season. We're going to the Lady in Black in 2 or 3 weeks. We're gonna have Christmas week off, then we're gonna have the week of New Year's off, and then I think we come back right around January the 5th or January the 8th. To kind of clear up any confusion, let's go ahead and show you the schedule right now. So there you see it, Bristol right after last week at Talladega. We're going to Darlington. And man, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Waiting to see exactly who it's going to be that we crown as a champion the following week in the swamplands of Homestead Miami Speedway. So man, if anybody's out there in chat, they got a horse in this race, they got any kind of stake in it, man, who do y'all have out there? Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or the IROC TV through the Roku, man, let us know who you got. I've got their Twitter page up, kind of keeping an eye on any kind of comments there. Let me know, who do you got? It's man, season's is winding down to an end, and Byron, I just showed a video before all this kicked off about season 6 starting up on February the 2nd, and oh yeah, a purse where the winner gets a lion's share of $5,000, $5,000, Byron.
Yeah, that is huge. That is every iRacer stream. The fact that you can put in, and it is a buy-in, yes, a buy-in of $100, but you think about it, $5,000, that's well worth the $100 investment you're going to make, especially if you're a fast guy. And I believe some guys from here also may get their hand in to next season as well as a little grab on if they finish top 25. So we'll have to see, Pete. I mean, I can't wait to see what these guys are going to produce the rest of this season. 3 races left. You mentioned it, Bristol, Darlington, Homestead. It's tough to pick a favorite for those next 3 races, but we'll have to see. Qualifying come to an end. Aaron Smith is going to pick up the pole, and this is going to be in for one hell of a night, Pete. 150 laps here at Bristol.
Yeah, 150 laps are going to absolutely fly by here from the last great Coliseum. Yeah, so Aaron Smith, he's been on a roll. I'm sure he can show these guys how to get around this half-mile high bank track. Chris Wally out there in chat rather. He says the season 6 registration is open, and stages for tonight are lap 60 and 110 before we complete lap 150. So let's go ahead and clear the boards, and we'll go through your entire grid right now. I just said clear it, now bring up more. So there we go. So Aaron Smith on the pole, as you said, with Brian McCann in his number 3, sitting P2. P3, Brandon Mefford in his 83. Been very, very strong as long as we've been calling these races. I'm sure him and his brother would love to have another great finish here. Kevin McCann, P4. P5, talking about Chris Mefford. So brothers back to back. David Tremblay in P6. P7 is going to be Stoney Benfield with Neil Quick to round out row number 4. Row 5, P9, we're talking about Mr. Schofield in his number 12 with Jesse King to his outside. Chris Wally's just talking, chatted up there from Facebook out there in chat in his number 51. And P12, we're talking about Cook Quick to round out row number 6. Byron, you got the second half, sir.
Yeah, row number 7 is going to be that 81 of Joshua Funkhauser, finding his way in P13, and P14 is going to be the 41 of James Kaufman. And then our last driver for the night, starting P15, that number 17 of Dakota Clark.
So yeah, 15 guys out here on track. It's going to be a pretty good points night for all these guys, considering it's a little bit of an abbreviated field from what we've been seeing. But yeah, let's get ready to mix this thing up. We'll go ahead and bring your scoring pylon up as soon as these guys go ahead and complete a lap so you can keep a track where everybody is. Same thing with the track map and everything else. But chat, I want to hear you. Who you got? Who's going to get it done here from Bristol? The last short track race of the season before season 6 again kicks off on February the 2nd. So the new year is going to start off with one hell of a pot that everybody will be chasing. Byron, the lights atop the pace car are out. Barney should have these guys in sight very, very soon. Let's get ready to call them.
Yes, sir. It's going to be one heck of a night. Bristol Motor Speedway. Tight, compact racing. These guys are going to give it everything they got. No holding back now. 3 races left, Pete. It's go time for everybody. Crunch time winding down.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, crunch time is exactly that, especially when we're talking about Bristol. You're talking about a whole lot of rubbing. Well, rubbing's racing. Are we going to see, I didn't mean to wreck him, just meant to rattle his cage. Are we going to be talking about any of that? Or are we going to see a whole lot of clean racing? These guys have been able to go either way, and I am absolutely looking forward to it. Pace car's pulling off. Barney's got the green flag in hand. Green flag out. Byron, let's go.
Green flag waving. They are out to the races side by side already. The 70 of Aaron Smith and the 3 of Brian McCain. First lap already in the book for these drivers tonight, and it is looking a heated battle right now for P1 and 2, Pete.
Absolutely. All right, so here we go. Go ahead and pull up your scoring pylon as well as your track map. And, of course, we cannot forget our great sponsors and everybody associated with the IROC channel on Roku TV. Talking about the hot dog stand. Byron, they had a guest. They've been having all kinds of all-star guests just line up to chat with these guys. It's been a pretty good show all the way through. But man, talk about a show all the way through. We're seeing now a 3 car in the lead and he just went purple, putting down the fastest lap so far, 15.27 in practice. We were seeing high 14s.
He's purple again with a 15.2. This 3 of Brian McCain is just putting him up, putting him down right now. 5 laps in the book. The 70 of Aaron Smith still looking to chase him down, but this is something interesting we're seeing early on. 70 of Aaron Smith, he's running that bottom lane. Meanwhile, the 3 of Brian McCain is running up on that top. Question is, which one's going to be the tire saver? We'll have to see later on down the road. You mentioned stage break at lap 60, so these guys are going to have to make those tires last a long time, Pete.
Yeah, they really will, and they can easily do it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be much of an issue as long as you're not really having to crank on that wheel to come off the corner. You can either go low in on the banking in the corners and allow the car to drift up towards the outside wall so you're not scrubbing off too much speed. But oh, by the way, because you're on the bottom, you're having to crank the wheel a little bit more. Or you're up higher, but you're in the throttle a little bit more. So again, you're having to put more wheel into it up on the high side. What to you, and you're actually pretty good at Thunder Rally, what to you is the best line to run, or is it somewhere in the middle of those two?
I would have to say that middle to high lane is the best lane to run. The bottom lane is good for the first 10, 15 laps, but after that, the tires start getting worn, your car wants to move up a little bit more, then put yourself up in that middle lane. It's tough because these guys are going to drag their brakes, but it's not they're fully on their brakes. You can hear them dragging while they're still in the gas, so it's not fully letting out, as we're seeing this huge pack shot from behind on the rear end of 46 Chris Medford. But I tell you, I think where everyone's running right now, that is the best place to be early on within this race.
Well, there you go. Oh, it looks like we got caution number 1 on track, and it looks like Tim Schofield a little bit further in the back is going to have something to do with this. So let's see if we can actually pick up with that number 12 Spartan Transportation Camaro and see exactly what happened. I don't see where anything else where he might have collected anybody else, so I'm thinking that this might be a self-spin, Byron. But let's go ahead and find out. We'll go ahead and switch on over to the good old chase view and pick up with Tim. So there you see him up high. And looks like he's right in front of the 51 of Chris Wally. I'm thinking that might have been a little bit of net code maybe. So tell you what, let's try that again. Let's bring it back with Tim Schofield again, and we'll stop it. We'll drop back to the 51, and then we will, as soon as I find Mr. Wally, there he is, and let's go ahead and jump on board with the right front, and we'll play it from there. Yeah, little bit of net code by about a good 8 to 10 inches worth. So, all right, we'll go ahead and bring it back live.
So there you go. Caution number 1 was just a little bit of a net code. That's fine. You expect that at Bristol. I mean, it really is tough. And with how close these guys run, net code is not the best, especially at short tracks. But these guys are making it work so far, and that is fantastic to see. We got 15 cars on track, Pete. Everyone sort of stayed out. No need to come down. It's super early still, which I think is a great call by everyone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And nobody got any real damage there. So Tim Schofield's tires might be a little upset with him, but he'll be able to stay out, run a couple laps under normal temperature. And they should cool off just a little bit. Speaking of cooling off just a little bit, let's actually go ahead and see what the weather is here at Bristol tonight. Looks like about 73 degree air temp and 77 degree track temp. So Byron, very, very nice night for racing.
Yes, it is. That is the track temperatures you want to see as a driver out on track. Nice, cool, but not overly cool to where it makes your tires super grippy. But these guys are going to be more grippier than what you see with heated up tires. But Pete, pace car is going to go ahead and turn off those lights, duck down. We're ready to go green back at Bristol.
Absolutely. There you see Barney, green flag in hand. Green flag's out. Let's go. All right, Byron. It looks like the three of Brian McCann got one hell of a start, but that's usually what happens with the control car. He's able to get on that loud pedal, first, and is able to control the race, get a good little lead, able to pick which line he wants, and do his thing. But the 70 looks like he's hunting around a little bit for old Aaron Smith.
Yeah, Aaron Smith is really liking that bottom so far, and it's working for him. He's now closed the gap within the three of Brian McCain, slowly starting to drive away from the rest of the field, and Aaron Smith is making that bottom work, no doubt. We could see a new leader very, very soon, Pete.
I would not doubt it, as there he is inside right now. Can he actually go ahead and control it off? Nope. 3 still fighting back hard on the outside. No give whatsoever, as we'll try to go ahead and take a look from inside Aaron Smith's car, really keeping it pasted to the bottom. And if we look at Brian McCann up on the high side, I mean, he can see the front end of the 70, but just so much grip up on the high side because of the cooler temperatures.
Yes, there is. And meanwhile, while these two are still battling, they're still pulling away from the rest of the pack behind, with the 46 and Chris Mefford leading. These two are, I mean, the fact that they can battle, go side by side, and still pull away from the pack, that is going to go show that these two are going to be the main threat for tonight's race. No one else is going to have a say or a shot, as we just, it's incredible to see so far early on, side by side racing very, very early in this race, Pete.
Absolutely, looking backward from Aaron Smith now at the rest of the Hornets' nest as they're going down the front stretch, across the start stripe to start lap number 25. Again, this the race this evening, the stages are at lap 60 and then 110. And oh, by the way, Byron, that means when they're done with stage number 2, it's going to be a 40 or just about 35 to 40 lap shootout to seal the deal here.
Yeah, these guys are it's gonna be crazy to see what's gonna happen tonight. I mean, you said it, 40 lap, 35 lap shootout, that's not a lot for Bristol, as we just saw a huge movement come from the inside of Aaron Smith's wheel, but that's another huge thing right now. As much as you see their wheels jerking around, they gotta keep that car straight, so you can see there is some looseness going on, and these guys have been battling for almost, what has it been now, Pete? Almost 10, 15 laps, and none of these guys are giving up the first place position.
Yeah, no, not at all. But now, Byron, I got to ask you, again, you're actually really good here at Bristol. Who's wearing their stuff out more? Is it the 3 keeping the 70 pinched down? So because the 70 has a shorter circumference around the track, is the 70 wearing it out because he's not allowing to, his car, or he's not opening up the wheel to go up track? Meanwhile, the 3 around the high side, he's having to get back in the throttle a little bit more to be able to keep the 70 pinched down. Who's at a loss here?
I would say the 70 of Aaron Smith, but the 3 of Brian McCain, every time he's coming off the corner, he is losing that car. So that tells me that he's got so much heat in that right rear right now that car is so loose on him. He is burning his stuff up very, very early on. Aaron Smith, he's just playing the long game right now. He's trying to keep within the 3, put some pressure on him. So I think the biggest loser right now on tires has got to be the 3 of Brian McCain.
All right, so let's take a look here with the 46 right now sitting in P number 3, and if we look ahead from his bumper cam, you can see these guys still running side by side. It looks like the 3 was finally able to edge the 70 out. Decent little shot here from right behind the front grille, but I don't think they're done yet, Byron.
No, they are not. And it looked like McCain was starting to drive away, but then Aaron Smith pulled him right back. And like I said, I think Aaron's just playing the long game right now. He's going to wait for that time to open up, but in the same boat, he's got to start slowly moving his way off of that bottom, or else he's going to burn up his tires even more later on in the run.
All right, so checking out now the battle for third. You got the 46 of Chris Mefford and the 25 of Jesse King. These guys pretty much nose to tail, and then behind them it's a 7 to 8/10 gap between the 75 of Stoney Benfield and Kevin McCann. So Brian McCann leading, Kevin McCann right now P number 6, Neil Quick 7th, Brandon Mefford 8th, Joshua Funkhauser in 9th, and James Kaufman. That is your top 10.
And then just behind him is the 96 of David Trumbley, the 51 of Chris Wally, the 12 of Tim Schofield, and then the 23 of Cook Quick, and the 17 of Dakota Clark to round out our 15 Xfinity car field. I tell you, Pete, we're slowly hitting lap 40 now, and we're starting to see our first car go a lap down. That is impressive seeing. He's going to go and move right out of the way. Big kudos to him as he's going to let everyone go by.
Yeah, so there it is. And now you got, looks like first and second. I thought for a second they were pretty good, nose to tail, but that 70 of Aaron Smith still really hunting that bottom line. He's not giving it up. He figures that's still the shortest way around the track. And he's right. But Byron, that's if we're talking about the old Bristol, before it was reconfigured, before the transitional banking was implemented around this half-mile canyon. So is the 70 giving too much up, or is the 3 just as he figured out the high line that if he can keep the 70 behind him, he might just have this thing won?
I think it is right now. The 3, with the way he's staying up top, that's going to force the 70 to almost have to pass low. He's not going to get anywhere else. As now you see him searching all the way up at the top of the track. And now you got to start thinking that as Aaron Smith, as he makes a big run off of 3 and 4. Now he's going to take a charge at the lead here. Gets the 3 of Brian McCain. These two are going to go at it once again. Meanwhile, the 46, Chris Mefford, he is enjoying everything right in front of him and everything that's happening just before him.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3 got a little loose on the high side. The 70 saw that, and he immediately threw it low. But 3 was able to recoup. 70 now again on the inside. 46, I believe he is just waiting to see which line is going to move, which line or which of these cars is going to go ahead and mess up just a little bit. And at a track like Bristol, just a little is a lot.
Yes, it is. He's trying to see which car is going to prevail, which one is going to struggle, as he gave the 70 a huge break. Aaron Smith fell back in line. He just about clipped him, but he's going to go and back off, be smart about it, as these guys still going side by side. Pete, 13 laps to go until stage break. Brian McCann still out in the lead. Aaron Smith still fighting for position. As now we see, Aaron Smith almost got up there. The best thing that Aaron Smith has to do right now is pin that 3 up to the top. Give him some more room there on that bottom to do something. If not, Brian's just going to have him all night long.
Yeah, that 3, he's got this place figured out, and he's not going to give an inch. He wants this W. He wants to know that he is automatically advancing onto the championship round, and that's what it's all about. He wants the championship for season number 5. The next race after the holiday break is Darlington. Anything can happen at the Lady in Black. The track everybody says is too tough to tame, as more and more looks like the 21 or 23 almost washing back up on track and collecting the 70. Good heads-up driving by everybody. Great track awareness.
Yes, it was. That almost turned disastrous. Ooh, slight contact from the leaders, 73, as they were entering turn 1 and 2, but they went ahead and kept everything clean here. And this 46, I think he wants out of the nose. As I say that, he's going to go ahead and get the wall, and this is now going to drag 4th and 5th into the play, Pete. 7 laps left in stage 1, and these guys are all within seconds of each other.
Yeah, look at this 46. I mean, he's there. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. Occasionally he's got a nose, to the right rear of the 70, or very, very close up the tailpipe of the 3. But yeah, Brian McCann, he's not going to give it up. In the 70 and the 3, they have been side by side, lap after lap. This battle has been absolutely amazing.
Meanwhile, the 33 of Kevin McCann and the 25 Jesse King are now going to start slowly going at it for P number 4 to have themselves a chance to challenge these leaders. But as I say that, I think the 70 of Aaron Smith slowly starting to fall victim to the 3. Meanwhile, the 46 is trying to prevail just above him.
Yeah, the 46, he's up on that high side. He's made contact with the wall once or twice, got a little bit of scrapage along the right side. 3 is now prevailing. He's got all kinds of momentum on his side. Looks like the 46 going to go ahead and follow suit. Byron working lap 57. 3 more laps until stage number 1 comes to a completion. 70 now falling back to P number 3. 2 spots from where he started, but it's been one hell of a fight here in the first stage.
Yes, it has. And now he's going to go ahead and fall back. That is going to allow the 3 of Brian McCain to take point. And I think from here, it's just going to ride for 2 more laps until that yellow flies, that checkered green and white flag is going to go out as we comes around to 1 to go this time by Pete.
Yeah, 1 lap to go, and yeah, it's gonna be all the 3 car. It's kind of fitting as we look back from him, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Look at that gap though he's created just off of 1 or 2 laps of having complete open air, no one around him.
Yeah, the yellow flag should fly as soon as the leaders come on back past the start stripe. There we go. So stage number 1 is in the book. Brian McCann, Chris Mefford, Aaron Smith, Kevin McCann, and Jesse King are your top 5. 1 caution in the first 60 laps, and stage 2 will start soon.
Yes.
All right, Byron. So we'll give this 3 a moment or 2 to decompress after all that great side-by-side racing. Let him gather his thoughts. Go on down pit road. We won't interfere. And if Brian should happen to come off pit road first, we'll go ahead and see if he's available to be pulled up, and we'll chat with him right quick. And it looks like let me see. Yeah, it looks like he is available, so we'll let him complete his stop, and then we'll get his thoughts on stage 1.
Yeah, and meanwhile, during that, for those that are tuned in, may have not seen what this series is. Yes, this is the Spartan IROC Challenge Series. Every single driver is driving the same exact car, same exact setup, same exact way. You think of the old IROC series back in NASCAR, this is it, and they are doing it to a T in the rule book, and these guys are going to follow everything they can. So all this great side-by-side action you're seeing is the same exact setup for everyone around.
Absolutely. Bringing Brian McCann up to the booth. Brian, you won stage number 1. It really looks like you've got that high side on lock. The 70 was able to clear you once or twice, but you were able to fight your way on back. I'm not going to ask you what your tires were. I'm just going to tell you that's a beautiful looking and very clean car after the first stage.
Hey, man, yeah, I might be sweating after this race. Too wide around here on Bristol. We were touching, banging doors. I was hitting the wall a little bit. Glad to hear my car ain't messed up, but yeah, that was pretty tough.
No doubt. So we were wondering if we were going to be talking. I didn't mean to wreck him, just meant to rattle his cage, a whole bump and run. That number synonymous with all of that. You willing to do what it takes if it comes to that, or you got a lot of friends out here and maybe not willing to take that chance?
I mean, we always go for the win, so that's where I'll leave that one at.
All right, Byron, what you got for this driver?
Oh, it's been a great stage for you, Brian, obviously. Now you got the rest of this race looking ahead. You got to 110. Which line, you don't have to give it away, but which line do you sort of prefer or you think is going to be the main racing group for the rest of this race?
Yeah, the high side worked for me, so I think I'm going to stay there. But, man, I was not expecting that bottom side to work as good as it did for Aaron. So I'm just going to stick with what I got.
Well, man, I wish you the best of luck. You're one of the picks that I got out there. The other one's going to be the 83, Brandon Mefford. But fantastic race you've ran so far. Keep it up.
All right, thanks.
All right, Brian, I'll go ahead and I'll get you back down with your brother. And just like we said last week, man, keep the shiny side up, and maybe we'll be talking to you later on for a podium.
See you later.
You got it. All right, so let's go ahead and bring driver number 3 back on down. Byron, he's out of King in North Carolina. I actually know right where that's at, rather. And, man, one hell of a racer.
Wear that in. I like it. That's the new way we got to do it. Where it is.
It's where it is.
Where it is.
All right, so pace car's off. Green flag's out. Stage 2, Byron.
I tell you, that is not a lot of time before that pace car ducks down and you're a green flag racing at Bristol. But the 3 of Brian McCann was able to get the jump once again. 70 of Aaron Smith going to follow in suit, and then the 25 of Jesse King now going to make his first appearance in the top 3 tonight. already looking to make a challenge against 70 of Aaron Smith.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are really going to school on what the top two have done. They've seen the 70 make the bottom work, and they've seen the 3 really get a whole lot of momentum off the high side. And like you just mentioned, Jesse King, that has spent most of the race inside the top 5. This is his first time in second. Will he be the new challenger here for the lead?
We'll have to see. I mean, Brian, he's enjoying that top side, so he's not going to shy away from it at all. And that is where the 5 of Jesse King is finding himself. He's going to have to get a little bit closer to that wall. He's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive if he wants to have that shot at getting that top side. But other than that, he's going to have to make that bottom side work in order to get around this 3 of Brian McCain.
Yeah, I think Brian, he's really comfortable where he's at, and since he hasn't altered his line at all, he's picking up right where he left off. That tells me when the stage was done, he went back into his tools, checked out his tire data, and was really happy with what he found.
Yes, he was. Meanwhile, the 70 of Aaron Smith we saw was prevailing early on within this race, is now struggling to find himself back up in the P2 position as he is just starting to wash away from the 25 and the 3 as they continue to create even more ground within the rest of the field, as the 33 of Kevin McCain, Brian McCain's brother, slowly starting to close that gap within those top 3.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a little bit of help from the 83 of Brandon Mefford, who absolutely knows how to get it done. And right behind Mefford, we're talking about the 75 of Stoney Benfield. So earlier in the race, we saw some guys pull away. We saw a few guys go a lap or more down. Right now, though, it looks like we got a decent little pack of 6. Nobody's really pulling away.
No, they are not. But that 3 of Brian McCain slowly starting to pull away. He's now out to a third of a tenth away from the 70 of Aaron Smith and the 25 of Jesse King as they continue their battle for position number 2. Meanwhile, the 33 of Kevin McCain now finding himself within this battle. Guys are now starting to go side by side. Lap 78 of 150 tonight. These guys are getting very rowdy, and the noise is starting to get loud here at Bristol.
Absolutely. Look at this battle right now for P number 2. 70 on the bottom, 25 up top. 33, I think he might have gotten a couple words of wisdom from driver 3. So if he can get on up there, which I'm sure he can, if the 3 has told him which line to take, where to get on, where to get off the throttle, how much wheel to put into it, I think this 33 may make a charge for the lead a little bit later on. Could we see a 3 and 33 1-2? I think it's a very real possibility.
Yes, it is, and I tell you, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen later on within this race and how these guys are going to attack everything they can. But I don't know, Pete. I mean, it's still a lot of time left within this race. Got to see what everyone can do.
Absolutely. Looking from the roll bar view from Kevin McCann's 33, he started P4, and that's exactly where he is right now. Just kind of keeping up with that 25 up on the high side. 25 yet to be able to clear the 70. 70 really fighting hard on the bottom, trying to get back in the throttle as soon as he can. And I think he might have it here. A little bit of a slide job up. Yes, it is. 25 had to check up, and that absolutely stacked up Kevin McCann as well. And that really brought the 83 right up the 33's rear trumpet.
Yes, it did. And Pete, give me 1 second here. I got to go ahead and fix something, but apologies for breaking off it. Just 1 moment.
No, do what you got to do, man. I absolutely gotcha. All right, so checking in with our top 5. I'll tell you what, since we got a little bit of a green flag feel and stage number 2 doesn't end until lap 110, working lap 86, we went over all the driver details for the 3 when we talked to him. Let's go ahead, take a moment, go through the field, and reintroduce you to these playoff drivers. Again, driver number 3 of Brian McCann out of King, North Carolina, leading right now. He started P2, Ben P1, winner of stage number 1, doing pretty well. Aaron Smith back here in this number 70 Spartan machine. He's out of Hollywood, South Carolina. I'm not quite sure where that is, but he's looking to try to go ahead and seal the deal. I looked at the points before this was all said, before this race kicked off. Very, very high up there, and he just wants to be able to lock down his spot to go to Homestead, Miami in just a few weeks. P number 3, talking about Jesse King, up 7 spots from Newton, Texas. He's really working the high side in his machine as well. And just as I say that, 33, occasionally really trying to peak low to see if he can get anything going. He's, again, a driver out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I mentioned he started P4, and that's exactly where he is. The 83 of Brandon Mefford from Knightstown, Indiana. Zoe's Place and Racing for Riley. So he's got a purpose, and he's put that purpose in victory lane a couple times in the last couple weeks. Stoney Benfield back here in this number 75 from Albemarle, North Carolina. I definitely know right where that is, and the reason I know where that is, and in case I hadn't told y'all, I actually live in North Carolina, a very, very small town about 30 miles south of the Virginia line called Oxford, North Carolina. Behind Stoney Benfield from Albemarle, we've got Neil Quick. Neil started P8. He's up to P7 in this Spartan Deuce. And he's another one up on that high side. It seems like that really seems to be the way to go. Chris Wally, driver 51, up 3 spots. Pretty much the main guy to talk to about this series, and he put it out there. Season 6 registration is open. If you think you can get out here and mix it up with these guys starting on February the 2nd, man, reach on out. IROC TV on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I mean, these guys are all over the place, so make sure you reach out. Tim Schofield back here in the number 12 from Chelsea, Michigan. Driving a race car is like dancing with a chainsaw. Yeah, a little bit louder. A few more moving parts to hurt you. But yeah, I agree. All right, then that's going to round out your top 10. P11 right now, talking about the 96 out of Toledo, Ohio, for David Trumley. He's down 5 spots, sitting P11. A little bit of damage to this machine. And just as I say that, looks like James Kaufman also there with him. He is sitting P13, up 1 spot from where he started. So started P14. And a little bit of damage to his left rear as well. But because it's a short track, we ain't got to worry about the aero and the draft and all that. All you got to do is try to make sure you got the fastest time to get up there when it's all said and done. Cook Quick back here in this number 23. He was off pace earlier. We saw him down on the apron, kind of navigating around, trying to keep away from lead lap cars and not cause any kind of an issue. And then behind him, we got the 17 Spartan Logistics machine for Dakota Clark. He's out of Knightstown, Indiana, also 3 wide with DJG podcast. Look him up. So Byron, that is all the way through the field, 1st through 15th. Dakota, he's right where he started. So Bristol may not be his cup of tea, but hey, it's only stage 2. We've got 47 laps to go.
Yes, sir, it is. And hey, I tell you what, valiant effort on the fact that he's even out here tonight, running the track, getting the experience, even if he's not the best. He is out here. He's already collected more points than what we've seen everyone else that didn't show up collect points. But meanwhile, one of the men collecting the most points right now has to be the 3 of Brian McCain, as him and Aaron Smith have jumped out to almost a 2-second lead. And the next guy in 3rd place is that 25, Jesse King, still trying to rally his way in, but these two have checked in and checked out of the hotel tonight.
Absolutely, at first and second, and on the same straightaway. And as we get back here to Jesse King, he's got a couple, not too far off of his bumper. Talking about Brandon Mefford and Kevin McCann. Are these guys going to be able to get on up there and contend? I think they can. Obviously, Brandon Mefford, very, very fast. But Bristol Motor Speedway, it's a different animal than most other tracks. It's the same length as Martinsville, a little bit shorter than Richmond, but the banking and the reconfiguration that the track went through has had it's puzzled a lot of people since it was changed.
Yes, it has. And I tell you, you mentioned the history of Bristol. It's crazy to see how much this track has gone through, but in the same boat, how relatively close this track has stayed. Looks wise, and it's the last great Coliseum, and it's just such a unique track. I know I haven't been there personally, but I can only imagine how big of an experience it can be from seeing a track like this to like Charlotte, North Carolina, Phoenix, Arizona, and Daytona. Every single track has their own resemblance, but I think this one has the greatest impact within the NASCAR sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been one of... caution number 2 is going to fly. And that is going to be for stage number 2. So, Byron, very, very fast stage. And this is going to set everything up for a 35 to 40 lap shootout. Only one racing caution tonight, and that was only because Uncle Netco decided to catch a flight into Bristol and cause a little bit of an issue in the back. Other than that, all green flag for all 50 contenders.
Yeah, and it's been great to see. I mean, typically you look at Bristol, you see a bunch of leagues, it's like yellow after yellow after yellow. These guys kept this thing green, and it's been green. Now these guys got to make a, 30-ish lap shootout to name our winner tonight here at Bristol, because there is going to be one winner and a bunch of second places, third places, and then you got the losers, but in the same boat, they are a winner as well, collecting their points.
If I'm not mistaken, the 70 of Aaron Smith has not been available to chat, so P3 was Brandon Mefford. If he once he's done with his stop, we'll see if we can grab a quick word with Brandon down there racing with his brother and Neil Quick as well. Let me go ahead and catch up with Brandon. Looks like David Trumley. Okay, he's going to come on down pit road. He stayed out, maybe missed his box. Not quite sure what happened there, but we talked to Brian McCann. Actually, Kevin McCann is going to show up in P3 once they come on by Trumley. So let's see if we can't pull Kevin up to the booth right now.
Brandon.
Kevin, driver 33 of the Spartan Logistics Camaro. We got a chance to talk to Brian earlier after dominating stage number 1. Did the same thing here with stage number 2. Is he, kind of giving over any advice to get that 33 up towards the front and stay where you're at? And will you battle him out for the win?
Yeah, he's a little tight-lipped on the advice tonight. I'm not sure what him and Aaron are doing up there, but they got that long run speed down. So I'm going to try a few different things here in this final stage and just give it what I got and see if I can't keep it up there with him.
Well, if the 3 can do something nice, the 33 can do it doubly as well, if there is such a word. So, man, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I'm actually right down the road, right up 85 from you in Oxford, about 30 miles south of the Virginia line. Got to pull for some fellow NC drivers. Can you get it up? Can you get up there and steal it away?
Anything could happen. It's Bristol. A late race caution, being in the right lane on a restart. This top side is something to beat here on these restarts. Bottom line struggles to get going. So, a late caution, anything's possible.
Hey, man, get up there. Don't wreck him. Just rattle his cage. All right, man. I'll get you back down with Brian right now and Tim Schofield. Wish him luck. Keep the shiny side up, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks.
You got it. All right, so that's driver 33. Again, Kevin McCann. Byron, what do you think about his comments?
I think his struggle, and the only struggle he's got is within, I think he's braking a little bit later than he should be. If he's listening, man, you got to brake just a little bit earlier than what you're expecting. But green flag's waving, Pete. They're going green one last time. They got about 30 or so laps to settle this out, and Aaron Smith off to a fantastic restart, almost about half a second in front of Brian McCann.
But now, Byron, this is going to be the true test right here. Looks like 33 able to slot back into P4. He's got the 75 behind him. But now the 70, has he learned from the line that the 3 has ran and dominated with for stage number 1 and stage number 2? We've got, 31 laps remaining here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and 3 all over the back end of that number 70. 70 has moved his line up, taking it away from the 3, dumping all kinds of dirty air. We'll have to see what happens with these two. I'm going to call it now. A bumper will come in play.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think those two would typically be the ones to put a bumper, but you could be wrong. I mean, anything can happen. As a big wreck just behind the 33 is going to come out, and that is about 4 or 5 cars involved.
Yeah, Stony Benfield, Neil Quick, and others, Joshua Funkhauser and David Trumbley in the mix also. Definitely saw, I believe it was the 75 at least, nose that Camaro into the wall. So let's go back. We'll start off with Stoney and work our way through caution number 2. But this one, obviously, for contact with the first was for netcode. So let's pick up with Stony Benfield right now. There you see, a little bit of a hook. All right, but now, Byron, let's actually stop this, and we're going to go ahead and rewind that. Was this another case in netcode? So let's go ahead and stop it. We'll move on over to the left front of the Deuce and see exactly what... I said the Deuce. I did, right? I said the Deuce. Let's move on up. There we go. Neil Quick. All right, let's see what happens from here. Ooh. You know what? Let's stop that one more time and rewind it, and we'll switch it on over to the nose and see if it'll show. I said the nose, not the gearbox, from the nose. Let's see if it'll pick it up through the grill. And play it again. Nope, I think he might have caught the right rear that time.
Yeah, I think that was just a mix of the 75 trying to get himself in, squeezed just before the corner, and the 2 having such a great run off that he didn't want to give it up. So it just looked like a very unfortunate racing incident for those 2, but I believe that could end their nights if it was big enough of a hit, and I know for sure that 75 had a big ol' hit, especially hitting in the front.
Yeah, absolutely. And hitting in the front, on a short track with the banking, you need the RPM. So if you're down on RPM, you're absolutely hurting. But everybody going to go ahead and stay out except for those that were involved in that, or maybe cars that are, cars that were lapped down. Going to go ahead and grab their lap back. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and switch this all back on over to your scoring pylon, and you'll be able to see who is where. And looks like the 83 of Medford and Clark in the 17 are the only ones a lap down. Quick in the 2, back on the lead lap.
Yeah, so they didn't lose anything, which could have been just them coming down, getting their damage fixed, which is good. But, man, that's interesting to see. But they're going to go ahead and stay on the lead lap. They're going to continue to be able to fight for the position, and they look... Well, the 75, although, looks pretty good. So does the 2. I think they're just missing their back bumpers.
All right, so let's get a little bit closer. Don't be shy to this 75. Yeah, good thing we're not at a restrictor plate track, because that 75, it actually looks like the Camaro is smiling at you from the backside. How about that? I tell you, you got a couple eyes, you got the nose, and a big old smile. So
The 2 looks like we allowed modifieds into the Xfinity race. He's missing his hood.
Yeah, Neil Quick, you did say that 2. Yeah, there you go. He's missing his hood, and there's another car a little bit further up also missing his hood. Guys and gals, if you want to follow this IROC series, there it is over on Twitter. Again, IROC TV Media. Give them a like, give them a follow. You can actually watch this race on live there as well. Comment along as everybody past the start stripe, going back towards the front stretch, and Brian McCann back in charge, but heavily contested by the 70.
Less than 25 to go in this race, Pete. The 3 of Brian McCann is out in the lead. Yellow's gonna fly. Looks like it's gonna have something to do with James Kaufman.
James Kaufman, yellow flag, 5th caution, but only the 3rd for any kind of, or 2nd, I should say, for any kind of contact. First one was net code. So let's go back with James Kaufman, find out what happened with his ride, and we'll do that right now. So there you see him on the bottom side, 23 up high. Does he get a little bit of contact? 96 with a hard charge. Yeah, 96, just all kinds of momentum. Oh, 41, almost ending up out of the track if it wasn't for the catch fence. Pirouetting on the tailpipe. Camaro back on all 4. He'll have to try to catch back up to the field, but you know he's going to have sustained heavy damage. Wow.
Well, I tell you, Pete, it's that time of the race. The 41 and James Kaufman has won my NASA Next Car to Space program award tonight. And he is he's not looking the best. He is smoking from that engine. That was a big old hit for him.
Yeah, newest candidate for the SpaceX program, driver Kaufman. So yeah, cautions breed cautions. Everybody wants to win from Bristol Motor Speedway. Brian McCann still leading, Aaron Smith P2, Chris Mefford P3, Kevin McCann P4, right where he started the race, and Chris Wally back here in this 51, right now sitting P5 up 6 spots and is the biggest mover. And Byron, it's right when it really matters the most.
Yes, it is, and it's Bristol, baby. It is the best place you can be, the best track, especially with 3 races left in the season, slowly starting to come the 2 more races left in the season. These guys, it's winding down at this point. You got to find yourself up in the lead. You got to have a chance to win, and this is all going to come down to Bristol. Who's going to make the move? Who's going to make the last-second pass? And you said it, are we going to see the bumper as well? I mean, 3 the Brian McCann and the 70 of Aaron Smith have been going back and forward all night long. Wouldn't be surprised if one uses the bumper.
I would imagine, looking through the through that grate from the bumper just a moment ago, will that be smashed in on one of these drivers within these closing laps? But let's go ahead and bring it back live as the lights atop the pace car are still on. We're not going to bother any of these drivers. 19 laps to go. Will be 18 next time by. 17 should be green flag back out. Byron, you changing up your pick, or you staying with driver 3?
No, I'm going to stay with Brian McCann. He is feeling really, really good tonight. I'm not going to give away that momentum, as he's been fantastic all night long. I don't see it breaking away at all. He just needs to find himself up on that top side, and being on the bottom, having that right position for the restart is going to help him a ton.
Yeah, on the closing up the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4. So they should be coming to the attention of Barney here in just a moment. In fact, there they are. Pace car is going to go ahead and turn down the 33 degrees of banking. Green flag's back out. Will it be for the last time? Let's go.
And Brian's going to get himself a huge jump within the first lap, Pete. Meanwhile, the 46 of Chris Mefford now going to challenge for position number 2. Going to go and back off, though. That's now going to allow the 33 of Kevin McCann find himself within the battle for the 3rd position. But meanwhile, the 3 of Brian McCann now starting to create his bed, pull himself out even further, while Aaron Smith just sort of watches him disappear within the distance.
Yeah, you got to kind of wonder now, is the 70 just kind of sandbagging? And I tell you what, how about that? With 15 laps to go, Brian McCann just put down the fastest lap going to Plaid with a 15.1. So waiting until it really matters to show exactly what kind of speed he can carry off the high side. And oh, by the way, pulling away half-second gap over Aaron Smith.
How fast does he burn his tires, and does he push it too much? Bristol, it takes a while for those tires to come in, but with how short those corners are, anything can happen within 12 laps to go, Pete.
Oh, anything can absolutely happen. If the 3 tries pushing too hard, thinking that maybe the 70 is just saving his stuff for 10 to go, 5 to go, whichever, is he pushing for that gap? Is the 70 saving to make that last minute charge? Chris Mefford right now up 2 spots, running number 3 in that 46. We've seen him kind of work his way in. The 33 said he was going to try to do something when we talked to him. Hopefully he doesn't call that any kind of a jinx, saying, hey, you should have left me alone, as the top 4 really spread out.
Yes, they do, but Aaron now starting to drag himself within this battle. Maybe he's not done just yet. Brian McCain, last time by, ran a 15.34. Aaron Smith ran a 15.21. He is starting to close the gap, Pete.
Absolutely, kind of pulling himself up, and there we go. From Aaron Smith's gyro cam, you'll be able to see just how close he can get to that 3, and also listen to what he's doing with the throttle. You also see what he's doing with the wheel, rocking that back and forth just a little bit, letting that car eat up off the corner. He is pushing and pushing. 3 car getting closer and closer in that windshield. It's only a matter of time.
Yes, it is, and I think he's going to end up using the bumper. That is 70 of Aaron Smith now within striking distance of Brian McCain after being half a second behind almost 2 laps ago. 6 to go in the race, Pete. 3 of Brian trying everything he can. The 70 of Aaron Smith. These 2 are going to be the battle. The 46 of Mefford slowly starting to disappear. The same with the 33 of Kevin McCann. All eyes are on position 1 and 2 right now.
Absolutely, all eyes. The 70, he sees just one thing, though. He sees that 3 on the high side. He knows that he needs to get up there. He's got to be within striking distance to where he can absolutely throw it in, open the throttle, and try to come up off the corner. A little close to the wall, they're not quite able to do it. The 3 has been keeping the 70 pinched down all night long. 3 to go next time by.
3 to go indeed, and 3 is the lucky number as you see everybody else, no one in sight. This is now down to the leaders. 3rd and 4th, they're just a little bit behind. You'll see them off corner exit, but then everyone else, 5th on back, is so far back, it doesn't matter at this point. A yellow is what would have to push everyone back together, but I don't see that happening, Pete. 2 to go left in the race.
Yeah, 2 to go. White flag next time by. 3 in complete control. 70 now just hoping that the 3 will make a mistake. Maybe he can get to him. I don't think so. 70 going to go ahead and throw it low into turns 1 and 2. Off of 2, down the backstretch. 3 only has to hold him off for 2 more turns. The 3 car with the tribute to Dale Earnhardt off a turn 4. 70 is going to smack the wall. Brian McCann wins at Bristol.
What a race for Brian McCann. Aaron Smith coming home P number 2. 46 of Chris Mefford finding himself position number 3. We'll be talking with him later. The 33 of Kevin McCann, P number 4. The 51 of Chris Wally, P number 5. And this 3, he is all ready to burn it down.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and clear the boards for him right now. Brian McCann, it's all yours. Light him up. Almost got it. Tried to do a full Alan Kulwicki lap, just trying to burn him down. In the end, the 3 up by the wall surrounding this concrete canyon, the last great Coliseum. Byron, he has conquered Bristol, baby.
Yes, he has, and that is one of the best accomplishments you can pick up as a driver. And man, he must be feeling great right now.
Yeah, he's absolutely got it. We were able to talk to him, and there it is. Nothing like blowing it up when it's all said and done. So, all right, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little commercial break. We're going to bring our top 3 up into the booth. We'll be talking again. Brian McCann, Chris Mefford for sure. We'll see if Aaron Smith makes himself available to chat from P number 2. Don't nobody go nowhere. I'm sure that Brian, after dominating this race, will have a lot to say. All right, we are back, and we're the first one. We're going to chat with driver 46, up 2 spots from where you qualified, Chris. Nice little finish here, bringing that machine home for a P3 before we go on this holiday break. How are you feeling after 100 and some odd laps at Bristol Motor Speedway?
Not too bad. I had a pee before the race, and I haven't peed yet. So once that comes off, that'll be definitely a stress reliever.
Hey, do you think that little extra weight out of the car might have helped?
No, I had more of a middle run car. Brian and Kev and Aaron were. Brian was pretty good in them long runs. Aaron was kind of equal all the way around the each run. So. We was all pretty fast. I came and got damage fixed there after that first stage. I had like 16 seconds. I knew I might as well get it fixed up and get it ready for the last stage, and got it fixed up and was running with them guys, and the caution came and the guy just pulled away. Yeah,
definitely one hell of a finish. I mean, Brian McCann, simply the class of the field all night long. A couple guys tried that high side. Some ended up with damage. Others not so much. 46 didn't do too bad. Didn't see a whole lot. I think I saw a little bit of scrapage down the right side when we were kind of going through the field. So now we're gonna take a little bit of a break here for Christmas and New Year's, and then we're gonna come on back to Darlington. Lady in Black, is she a track too tough to tame for you, or you're going to spend a little extra time with her, maybe dance with her a little bit, sweeten her up before we head there first week of January?
I don't know. It's always a hit and miss for me. Last time we ran there, I think it was in the A car, and I wasn't very good in the A car there. It just didn't suit me right. Neither did the A car. But no, I think last time we was there in the B cars here, it was Brian and Neil, and then me and Aaron battling out there, and I think Kevin had some incident there early, so he'll be there too. No, it's just gonna be anybody's race really. It's always one of those tracks that's kind of like Bristol to the sense. You just really couldn't pass nobody, which really sucked tonight because, I mean, you had 2 fast grooves, but you just couldn't use that bottom as you seen Aaron almost clear Brian and just couldn't clear him. So it's just going to be keeping your car off that turn 2 wall. 3 and 4 ain't going to be too bad. It's going to slow your car down, but it's not going to damage it like off turn 2 will.
Well, man, big congrats on this P3, bottom rung of the podium finish. Going to be pretty good for you in the points. Any quick, friends, family, sponsors you need to get out there, sir?
I wouldn't say it really helps much in the points. I kind of got just screwed in the points, if that makes sense. I had a black flag and was passing under yellow, but I had nobody to let by. So it gave me a penalty there at the end of that last week's race. So instead of finishing 7th, I finished like 18th. So I went from going 1 maybe 2 points out of the top 5 to dead last. So it's just going to be basically a must win for me. We got Brandon and Brian all locked in here. So it's really going to be a good battle between everybody. I know I probably I think if I win stages and finish 2nd, I still don't think I'll advance. So it's going to be a must-win for me. I'm not sure how Kevin is doing. I know he had a good night tonight. I think he had some good stages there as well. So I know me and him would probably be trying to obviously battle hard for that win to advance. But like I said, Brian, Aaron, and Neil, and all the guys were fast last time. So it's going to be a hell of a race to watch. And hopefully we are talking to you last in a couple weeks.
I hope so, man. Absolutely. Good luck, and have a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't talk to you before then.
Yep. Thanks, guys. You too. Be careful.
Yep, you as well. All right, Byron, let's go ahead and bring up driver 70, Aaron Smith, P2, after starting on pole. One hell of a battle all night long with the 3.
Yes, it was. First off, Aaron, you got a copy.
Yeah, I've got you.
Yeah, man, what a race for you. I know it wasn't the result you may have wanted, but finishing P2 after the night you had, you started on pole, you stayed up there, and just unfortunately that 3 of Brian was just a tad bit better than you. What do you think you could have done differently to get him, maybe even pass him, or run away with the lead tonight?
Yeah, that second to last restart caught me off. I had the lead there, and then I waited a little longer than usual to restart in the box, and I think that was what made the difference. If I could have stayed ahead of him on that restart and the restart after that, I might have had a pretty good shot at holding him behind me, but there wasn't enough time for the tires to come in. I was running the bottom in an effort to save them, but never really made that big of a difference.
Well, I tell you what, it was one heck of a race for you, regardless. The way you were up against him, battling him constantly, just being there with him all night long was impressive to see you two go side by side. You got a few off weeks before you get yourself ready, go at Darlington. How are you going to sort of prepare yourself, make sure you're set to go to possibly win Darlington? I have a feeling you're really good at that track.
Well, I'll turn a couple laps. I haven't really raced there in this car for about a year or two, so it'll take some time to get used to that again. But as long as I finish well in the stages, I should have a pretty good shot at moving on to the Final Four. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I wish you nothing but the best of luck heading into these next few weeks. Obviously, you're one of the guys that I've been keeping an eye out. I know I saw you back in the B-Water Series. Now you're over here competing for a possible championship appearance. Best of luck to you. Before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to go get out there? Friends, family, sponsors.
I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge for putting this show on, y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it in a couple weeks at Darlington.
Oh, there you go, Pete. The 70 of Aaron Smith finding himself just a tad bit short, but Pete number 2, good points day for him tonight.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and bring up our winner. Driver 3, we talked to him after stage number 1. He said that, the 70 was really turning up the heat. Great battle side by side, lap after lap. It just seemed like the high side prevailed at Bristol Motor Speedway, just as it did when the track was first reconfigured before they started, putting all the PJ1 and all the different compounds that they've named over the years. Brian, one hell of a race. Time to take a big old breath and let it all out, sir. What do you think about your night here at Bristol?
Yeah, I mean, overall, no, good night. I really can't complain. I practiced a lot on the top side, and that's what I knew. I didn't really do a lot of practicing on the bottom, and then when the race started, I was watching Aaron, and he was working the bottom, and then he started gaining on me, and like he's running the bottom, gaining on me. I was like, oh no, am I running the wrong line? So I started second guessing myself. Wasn't really sure, but I stuck with what I knew, and I knew how to drive it and wire my tires the way I wanted to wire my tires. So I just stuck with it, and luckily it turned out and worked out for me.
Were you surprised after the one of the last restarts where he was up on the high side? You were all over his bumper, and he actually gave you the high side and decided to go back bottom. He said he was doing that to save his tires, but at the same time, he saw you up there all night long, keeping up the momentum, keeping up the track position, and now because of it, taking the win.
Yeah, I don't know how the bottom side drove or wore the tires, so I can't really say there, but he was making it work. I think it was one of the restarts that was probably one of the defining moments. He got in front of me on the pit road, and I thought right there, that was the race over. And I didn't know how to pass. I couldn't run the bottom line to pass. So I figured I was just going to have to ride around behind him and maybe if I can get to his bumper, but no, I wouldn't do that, Darren. I like racing with Darren. But off the restart, I just sailed it into turn one on the outside, and he was on the bottom, and I just barely got my nose to his bumper, so he couldn't come back up the track. And I think that's where, after I got my high side back, I took the lead, and that way I can block him for the rest of the race.
Well, man, one hell of a race. Completely dominated every single lap, every single stage, and the W. Knowing that you're locked in now for Homestead, do you have a little bit of weight off your shoulder, worrying about Darlington once we come back in the beginning of 2023? Or are you gonna put you still gonna put the same amount of pressure on yourself for the Lady in Black?
Well, I like it and I hate it at the same time. I love Darlington. That is my favorite track.
Oh boy!
So now with the winner's penalty, I got to start in the back for stage 1 and stage 2, I believe. So I won't be expecting a win there, but I will definitely go there and give it my 100%.
Well, man, it's great to see the number 3 in victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Big congrats again. I'm definitely getting to be more and more of a fan of you, man. Any quick friends, family, sponsors you need to get out there, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my wife, my family, everybody watching tonight, the admins who put this league on, and our sponsors, man. These sponsors, they make it happen. And check out the next season. Pretty big prize purse out there, and a lot of good things happening.
Yeah, my co-chair here, Byron, he's thinking about leaving the booth to try to compete for 5K, and you know what? I can't blame him. Good to know that we'll see you out there, Brian. And man, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the flip side.
Yeah, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All right, Byron. The last great Coliseum is in the record books. Brian McCann goes ahead and takes the W. Aaron Smith, Chris Mefford to round out your top 3. Kevin McCann and Chris Wally were your top 5. Any last thoughts from Thunder Valley?
I mean, it was such a great race. Bristol always puts on a show. That's why I love this track, both racing on it and watching it, both virtually and real. It's just so crazy to see this track. The racing it produces, you think, okay, it's a small track. It wouldn't produce the great racing, but I mean, we saw side-by-side action for almost 110 laps tonight out of the 150. So I can't wait to see what these guys are going to take and go on to Darlington. I'm going to say it next year because we're there at this point. And these guys, I mean, just a fantastic run, fantastic show everyone put on tonight.
Absolutely. And guys and girls, we will see you the first week of January in 2023 again to close out the last couple races for season number 5. Talking about Darlington, Lady in Black, Track Too Tough to Tame. Who's going to be the first one to get that stripe in the beginning of the year? Hey, have to tune in to find out. But for tonight, it's Brian McCann on the W. And congratulations to him. All right, so you just heard him talk about season number 6 and a huge purse. Talk about 5K. If you think you can put up with these guys lap after lap, race after race for an 18-week season, I believe, with just a $100 buy-in, reach out to them on Twitter at IROC TV Media. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking about you as we have about every single one of these guys all night long. So for Byron Jones and myself, Repeat, again, thanks for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. We'll see you again soon. Very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and have a great night.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs, and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.